Hey, welcome back to Slurv. I'm Steve with some more cash game Cornerstones today for August 16th. It's a Tuesday. So I hope you went with my actual pay up at catcher strategy yesterday and played Wilson Ramos. I don't often recommend that. I'm much more of a fan of punt catchers. But Ramos was in the right spot at the right time and he capitalized on it. And I hope you did too. So anyway, starting off there with catcher today, we still got guys in cores. I'm not saying Ramos is a bad play. He's just, now that I think about it, he's probably a really good play. I hadn't actually considered, because Bettis is worse against righties than he is against lefties. So that is something to consider as well. He's really expensive, though. I don't have it written down because I literally just made that connection, because Ramos himself is a lot worse against righties than he is against lefties. I mean, he crushes lefties. But let's move on from that. I think he's definitely in play. Let's put it that way. But so is Nick Hundley on the other side there, particularly on DraftKings. Gio gives up a lot more hard contact to right-handed batters than he does to left. 3.2 on DK, also 3.2 on FanDuel. So he's kind of a bargain way to get some Coors Field exposure. And I do expect Gio to be giving up the runs today. Hopefully that's not just my bias against Gio. I don't think so, though. His numbers are not that great against the right-hand side of the plate, and there's some interesting plays from the Rockies there. On FanDuel, though, and just in general, I'm a huge fan today of Jet Bandy. I'm not going to go into it in too much detail because I've already talked a lot about catchers, but you can read about it in the rundown a little bit later. But Jet Bandy is in a really great spot today against Ariel Miranda. He's just got ridiculous numbers. I'll start it off here: 503 WOBA and a 443 ISO against left-handed pitching. So there's a lot to like there for 2.6K. And 2.3 on FanDuel. So really on both sites, I'm excited to play a catcher, which is really weird, even weirder for a cheap catcher like this. So keep Jet Bandy, who just happens to have an awesome name, which makes it all the better, high on your list for catcher today. So really the problem with Wilson Ramos is his price, because there's just so many other guys who want to pay up for today. I'm a big fan of David Ortiz tonight against Gallardo. He's 5.4 on DK, so just really, really expensive, and 4.2 on FanDuel, which is pretty damn expensive. So it's hard to fit all of these guys in there, but I think Ortiz is a really good one. However, I do think Albert Pujols is actually in a good spot against Miranda as well. I went on a bit about how I like Bandy versus him, so so Pujols is definitely also in play there. He's been hitting well this sort of second half of the season. 3.6 on DK and 3.1 on FanDuel. Healthy discount on both sites there. So if there's one expensive guy I get to play today, I hope it's Trey Turner. He gets Bettis, who I mentioned before, is worse against righties, and guess what? Turner has been better against righties in his time in the bigs so far. He's 5.4 on DK. FanDuel, he's a shortstop, so we will get to him in a little bit. But really, he is my go-to guy there. On DK at second base, I really like DJ LeMahieu against Gio. He's 5.1 on DK, but he's 3.7 on FanDuel, so a nice value there for another guy in Coors Field. If you could play Trey at second base on FanDuel, I'd say play him there too, but we'll cover him when we get to shortstop. Probably no surprise after my slamming Gio versus right-handed pitchers. I like Nolan Arenado a good bit today. He is really expensive, 5.5 on DK, 4.2 on FanDuel. I'm going to have to find some value guys later on once all the lineups are out and stuff to get all these guys in there. But one value guy I do have right now is Alex Bregman against Jaime. He is pretty cheap, 3.5 on DK, 2.7 on FanDuel, and expected to be batting second, which I always like for cash. So he is definitely one of the better cheap options that I've got so far, but besides Jet Bandy, of course. But I will be looking into it later, so make sure you come back for the rundown to check that out. So I promised you Trey when we got to shortstop, and here I give you Trey. On FanDuel, he's just as good a play as on DK, maybe better, because, well, actually there's quite a bit that I like at shortstop today. But he's 4.3 on FanDuel, so mighty expensive there, but most likely worth it. I'm definitely a fan of paying up for Trey today on DK, and if you just hate Trey or whatever on FanDuel, Corey Seager gets Vincent Velasquez. That, oh my, Vincent, how you have fallen after such a promising start to the season, but he just has not been very good lately. 4.8 on DK and 3.8. I'm sorry, and yeah, no, I'm right. 3.8 on FanDuel. So those are my two top recommendations for FanDuel and DK, respectively. I'm a little wary of recommending him because they've been pinching for him really quickly as soon as the left-handed pitcher leaves. But I don't know. I like this spot a lot for Ryan Rayburn. Really only on DK in terms of playing him in cash. He's 3.3 there, 3.2 on FanDuel, so relatively a good bit cheaper on DK. I haven't decided yet how afraid I am of the pinch hit poll being too soon for him to meet value even at his low salary. One guy I do really like in Coors Field, no surprise I'm sure, Bryce Harper. He finally gets to face a right-handed pitcher in Coors, 5.5 on DK, 4.6 on FanDuel. And then, you know, since Rayburn is kind of too expensive for consideration, in my opinion, on FanDuel, they're giving us a nice little discount on Max Kepler. He is 4.8 on DK and 3.6 on FanDuel, and he's just been tearing it up lately. I mean, you know, many multiple homer games. I'm a big fan of his, and I think more good things are coming from him. So make sure you come on back by for the rundown. I will have it all written out nicely along with some fancy numbers and you know, nice formatting, all the important stuff. But no, some more plays as well. Hopefully there will be some bargain guys opening up that I can put in there to tell you all about. And other than that, these are the best cash game cornerstones I got for you today. No expert chat today, but we do have one tomorrow, so make sure you don't miss that. Those are fun. Good luck tonight, guys.